You gotta make sure you're going above the spine right here, and you're gonna hit into the spine right there. You'll be able to feel if you're going through bones because you'll have like a little snap. As long as the knife is going by smoothly, you're good. And don't worry about this knife sliding out because it's pretty deep in. Once I get to about here, that's when I go all the way through and just cut it to the end. All right, that's that knife down. Take these off. And then you got to separate it up to the spine. Come down here, and just go all the way down. Up here, you're kind of more like ripping the meat apart. You're bending the meat back more than you're cutting it. You know, the cut is just kind of to start it because it's kind of tough to get right around. But you want to make sure, this is where you want to make sure you don't puncture it. So you got to be very careful. Then once you get to the skin, that's where you're good. So you're going to cut it like that. Then just go right down the skin. And just follow the contours, and that's one cut. Let me get a newspaper for a sec. Okay, put that on the side. Now, usually there won't be too much meat, but sometimes there'll be a decent chunk here. You can scrape it off. I wouldn't go picking apart this because you don't want to puncture anything in here. So you do that at the end. So you flip it over. Start the same process. From right behind the fin, you can follow the contour of the gills. Okay. Sharp knives are so key. If you don't have a sharp knife, you might as well use a chainsaw. And it is messy too, as you see the scales go everywhere. Best to do this outside. You know, you're not going to get every last piece of meat, so don't try to. See, I punctured that, but I didn't puncture it. I just broke the cavity. So we'll cut that out. But you see, there's a little bit of meat here, so you can kind of try to cut it off a little if there's anything that's worth it, and that's pretty much worth it. You know, it's a nice little chunk right there. But there's really, you know, it's the tail. You're not going to really find too much tasty meat there, but you can still do the same thing. Start at the tail end. Okay, you're just going to go. You want to try to go as horizontal as possible, kind of pushing down because the knife is very flexible. But you want to stay as flat as possible. We'll cut that off in a little bit. But then this, you want to cut that red out. So a nice cut right down the side. A nice cut right down the side. You pull that out. I'm kind of fanatical about cutting all the red out. Some people say, it doesn't matter, you're losing a lot of meat. You're losing some meat, but you know what? It comes back that much better. And then I just cut these into individual pieces. Some meat here. Usually I can get a little closer. I want to cut that because that's where all the red is. First, that's where we cut the muscle, so we want to cut that out completely right off the bat. And if you think you're cutting too deep, you can just alternate the angle, just change the angle of the knife up a little. You don't have to like stop your cutting. Okay. Like I said, I'm a little fanatical. Okay. This is the best thing I ever got. Simple. Now, I don't rinse my fish before I freeze it because water follows salt. So if you put fresh water on it, that water is then just going to get absorbed in and the meat's going to come out a little more mushy. So usually I just freeze it like this and then I'm going to wash it before I use it anyway. And this will stay pretty good for a while, Joe. It'll be good to go.
Beautiful. Nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you.